Viewers, today I have the pleasure of company of a new personality based in Chennai. He is a social media activist. He's also a social media personality and a political analyst. And he has been a very important commentator of the evolving political scene in Tamil Nadu politics. Meet Kishore Swamy. Kishore, welcome to PGurus channel.
Hello, sir.
So, Kishore, today you and I will have a little bit of talk about how, see, politics. Tamil Nadu goes to polls in 2021, right? That is about a year away from now, and
Yes.
typically in southern states, the politics heats up a good probably 1.5 years before the election time. It's always zingers going back and forth. This person says that person counters and counters and so on and so forth. So we are entering that phase now. Except this election is a little unusual. There are no bigwigs, no Karunanidhi, no Jayalalitha, and therefore the parties are not having those charismatic individuals who can draw votes. So these parties have to depend on something else to get them across the line. And since you've been an observer of this politics for a long time, I'd like your input. I would like you to share your views on what is happening on the ground in Tamil Nadu, because now I'm hearing that the parties are contracting out the electioneering process, analytics, social media, outreach, messaging, what have you, to third-party agencies. How well do these agencies understand the ground realities? How well are they executing? In your opinion, what are the pluses and minuses? I'd like you to share those thoughts with our viewers. And the floor is yours now.
Actually, see, if you really look into the dynamics of Tamil Nadu electoral politics, you will be knowing better. It's always about the individual kind of the attraction that the tall leaders have. That's how it has been for the last 40 years or maybe even more. But yes, as you rightly pointed out, we do not have crowd pulling kind of iconic leadership in any of the mainstream parties, be the ADMK or the DMK, and therefore they seem to. There is a kind of a void, which is what I think superstar Rajinikanth has also been saying time and again, and perhaps he's been attempting to fill into those into that void. But coming back to this particular contracting, which I think would need a serious look from not only people like us but also by the central agencies, because this contracting is actually changing the dynamics of politics of Tamil Nadu. If it is going to take on a professional note, that should be welcomed, and I would welcome it. But it is going on a different dimension. That is what I believe, and that is not a very healthy thing for the state, which is what I have come to understand after going through certain damning evidences.
Now, as far as I know, DMK has enlisted the services of Prashant Kishor. So, viewers, a little bit of background on Prashant Kishor. As far as I know, he helped out Modi come to power in 2014, and evidently there was something promised, something not delivered, and he went from there. He went to work for Lalu and Nitish Kumar in Bihar in 2015, and he got them elected. And after that, I think his big success was with Jagan Mohan Reddy in Andhra Pradesh. I don't know if he was successful in any other election. Perhaps, Kishore, you can fill in a little bit about your impressions of Prashant Kishor, how he has succeeded in various states, what is his strategy now in Tamil Nadu, and why do you feel that why are you concerned about what he's trying to do?
See, Prashant Kishor, actually, I don't know how much of his role was in the election of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2014. Because 2014 was a sweep election where there was a wave of anti-incumbency. It was combined with the fact that the Sangh Parivar came out with its full strength to get Mr. Modi elected. So I don't know how much of a role Prashant Kishor would have played, because he was unknown at that time, not like the hype that you find within here now. But after the election, he was able to make use of that particular fact that he had played a certain role in the digital campaign,
Yeah.
and therefore he was trying to say project himself as the man who catapulted Mr. Modi to the center, which is not the fact. And it was understood by the BJP, and therefore he was also, he had to leave the BJP camp. And he thought the real opposite camp to prove a point would be Bihar. And it was the time when the alliances in Bihar were taking a certain shape, and it was the alliance politics of Nitish Kumar which carried the day, of course, with the support of people like Prashant Kishor as well. But to give credit to Prashant Kishor for Nitish's victory, I don't think would be fair, to psychology per se. But having said that, he did attempt in Uttar Pradesh, and we knew how it all ended up. We know how Rita Bahu Nag Joshi got upset by the projection of Sheila Dikshit, or for that matter, his dabbling with the alliance of the SP-BSP in the parliament elections, and we knew how it all ended up. As far as Jagan Mohan Reddy is concerned, you have to understand that it was basically the Reddy bastion, which was like trying to get their person come back. And it was also because of the 10%, almost about 10% of the vote swing, which the RSS and the Sangh Parivar was able to swing towards Jagan to prove a point to Chandrababu Naidu. That was what carried the day. Of course, IPAC was, which is the agency of Prashant Kishor. IPAC was successful in coordinating the Padayatra of Jagan Mohan.
Correct. That was brainwave, I thought. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, but you have to understand that Padayatra was not something that IPAC had conceived or IPAC had invented. Already YSR, the father of the late father of Jagan Mohan, was adept in that particular concept of the Padayatra, walking all along. Throughout Andhra Pradesh, he had done it before, and he had, in fact, that was what catapulted him to power in 2004. So to say that IPAC was behind it, I don't know if that would be even fair to YS Rajashekar Reddy.
No, you're right. Come to think of it, even after YSR passed away, I remember Jagan Mohan Reddy was doing the tour of that was undivided Andhra, by the way.
Yes,
I remember Odarpu Yatra or something like that.
Odarpu Yatra, which is like also people who had died, who died because of the shock. But having said that, now what does IPAC actually do? Now that is what has to be looked into, because they have been working actively now in West Bengal. Where Prashant Kishor's focus has been West Bengal and Bihar, where he wants to prove a point to Nitish Kumar. So his focus is not that much on Tamil Nadu, as far as I see it, or the information that I get from the High Command. That's what they call their management, the group of people who sit there controlling the whole IPAC program. So from what I get, the information that I get from there is that Prashant Kishor just feels that this is one billing account as far as the DMK is concerned. I don't think he is focused much on Tamil Nadu. And I think Tamil Nadu will be the first state which would actually not look at the candidate who is Mr. M.K. Stalin, but would rather go into the credentials of Prashant Kishor, which has never happened before in any of the elections that Prashant Kishor or IPAC had faced. I think Tamil Nadu for the first time has begun to do that. Now, but what actually, because I started this conversation by directly getting into the apprehension as to how it is affecting the dynamics of politics of Tamil Nadu, well, this is where we'll have to focus. And this is where, in the nation's interest, we will have to spend more time analyzing, which is that how do they address this election? They have this particular organizational structure called ACS, which is the assembly constituency survey. So we have about 234 assembly constituencies. They have fanned out their people. They have recruited people at the lower echelons. But when it comes to the higher echelons, it is held by the North Indians. I don't know if it would be right, because I don't believe in this North-South divide and so on and so forth. But still, there is a language barrier when it comes to people who like to understand the terrain of Tamil Nadu. So there are people sitting, like there is one Isha Alad, who's actually heading the entire team, who's basically who's heading the Jagan Mohan campaign as well, who's now been assigned to take on charge of Tamil Nadu. And there are a group of IIM graduates who are sitting there, who are pulling out the numbers, who are taking out the surveys. They've done many surveys in the last 3-4 months. They've done surveys, and they have taken this particular every constituency. They go identify the influencers in those constituencies. They engage with those influencers, and they try to take they try to take all those problems which are all existing in those constituencies, and they try to reach it out to the party. So basically, essentially, they try to create a connect between the party organization and the within the party organization, they try to create a connect. But that is what we see superficially. What actually happens inside is something totally different. What they do is they try to source what are the gray areas and what are the problem areas in each and every constituency, and they try to hike it up.
Exploit that.
Yes, they try to hype it. They set targets for it, which is very very serious, because see, when you have politics is about polarization. You have political parties coming out and polarizing issues and so on and so forth. We've seen that. We've seen mainstream parties trading charges on this, and we know how it works. But even if you take the police, if a riot breaks out, supposing a riot breaks out, and the police would immediately identify who are all the local party bigwigs, and they would be able to sit on their investigation thereupon. But that is not the case when it comes to this particular contracting, because here it's a corporate which sets forth doing it. So how do you identify who's doing what? Now they set targets. For example, when the CAA protest, anti-CAA protest was happening throughout Tamil Nadu, I am sure the intelligence would agree with me that throughout Tamil Nadu, we were having these protests were egged, sponsored, supported by the DMK. The local DMK party people, they openly complained that they were being asked to pay for it, fund it. Now this is and this was coordinated by IPAC, which is what I find a little disturbing, especially the Vannarapete which happened there.
Right.
Yeah, the Vannarapete incident, where I would like to mention it. I would like to go on record mentioning it, that there was a planned attack on the police, and you would see that. Within 20 minutes to 30 minutes, you had areas which are in the outskirts of Chennai putting up posters condemning the attack by the police. So, which means that this was well organized.
Yes.
And within an hour, entire Tamil Nadu was erupting. And this was and the sad part of it was the media, the mainstream media, was egging people to come out and protest, and the government was just watching, which is very sad. But at the same time, there was a corporate touch to it, in the sense the networking was made so perfect that these people who have been employed by this agency is able to reach out to the influencers within no time, and they are able to coordinate the protest. Now, if this kind of coordination is going to happen for a riot or protest, don't you think that has to really be addressed? And that is what I find is disturbing.
It is very disturbing indeed, because what happens is responsibility goes away. Before, you knew it was this party or this party, this worker, this thunder in this party and this one. And you kind of know who threw the first punch. Was it like some personal rivalry, or was it personal, political rivalry? What was the issue? Is something that a leader said. So these things used to be figured out. But now what happens is the corporate is doing this. There's a certain level of anonymity. Nobody knows.
You would be surprised to note that Prashant Kishor was dabbling with the ADMK till January. He was trying to get their somehow get the account of ADMK till January. They were in fact running two social media pages. One is called as they in fact had a high level meeting in the town hall to decide to do a brainstorming. They had two pages which were created just to impress the ADMK, and those two pages one was Kaikula Stalin, which means Stalin is a novice, and the other one was Dubakur Munnetra Kazhagam, which is that the DMK is a party of clowns. Now these were the two pages which were run till February by IPAC. Now, and can you imagine from March, this IPAC has decided that they're going to park themselves with Stalin and DMK, and therefore they start projecting somebody that they were projecting as a clown till February. They begin to project as a dynamic leader from March. Now
no sincerity at all, except that they are hoping that nobody will catch them at the fact that these guys were trying to pitch it to ADMK also. I think today it has come out, and I think people should notice that this person is nothing but a salesperson. He has a product, a very flawed product at that, because you are really dangerously playing with the lives of people by giving. Already there are promises that politicians make that they have no intentions of keeping, and now on top of that you have all these false news, false narratives that are going to be put out, and it's just going to vitiate the atmosphere of electioneering. And I really would like.
The irony here is the man who has been who's said to have been roped in by the ADMK, Mr. Sunil Konerulu, was actually engaged by Stalin till last year.
Oh, I see. So they have crossed.
Yes. So this was the person, because they had one organization called OMG, which is One Mind Group, which was handling the election campaign of Stalin for the last 4 years. They had this Namak Name, campaign.
Right.
All that, and now that man is now supporting Edappadi, and now we have Prashant Kishor, who was trying till January to impress Edappadi, now jumping onto Stalin's bandwagon. So this is what the whole campaign is about. So ideologies have gone for a toss.
Yes, it doesn't matter. So in such things, what happens is, this is like, professionalism, if you will, in cricket, where they are saying, oh, I'm going to have a fielding coach, a mental coach, a conditioning coach, this coach, that coach, and so on. But the whole thing is, people vote emotionally, and it is more true probably in Tamil Nadu than many other states. They really vote with their heart. So whoever has a better message that resonates better is perhaps going to win. But Kishore, how much do you feel these tactics are going to make a difference?
See, this I think you would know better, sir. See, the same. I would cite a particular example from history, which is 1982. The newly appointed General Secretary of the Congress, Rajiv Gandhi, landed up in Hyderabad with his Doon School mates,
Right.
And that was the time when computers had made a foray into India.
Right.
They were there with computerizing all the electoral rolls and so on and so forth, and they were sitting there and planning the elections and the campaigning, and it was a very high level campaign, just like how we have the hyped up Prashant Kishor campaign going on now in Tamil Nadu. But with 4 or 5 months of campaign, and N.T. Ramarao was able to whip up the Telugu sentiment and win the election, and Rajiv ended up with egg on his face for all the kind of hype that was given to him. So
actually, you missed out one little thing. I'm not saying you missed it out, but one little thing happened just before this Rajiv Gandhi put into this one. In one of his trips to Hyderabad, the then Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, I think it was the third or the fourth one, his name was Tanguturi Anjaya, very nice labor leader. He had become the Chief Minister. And the moment Rajiv Gandhi lands at the airport, he started berating him, and there is a full presence of the public. Press was watching it open mouth. They never have seen somebody being, yelled at like this. And this man is poor guy is, he's, not very comfortable doing this. And then sure enough, in 3 months later, he was gone and somebody else became the chief minister.
Exactly. That is the same scenario that is happening in DMK in Tamil Nadu, because what is happening here is that Prashant Kishor and his bunch of IIM graduates are going about pulling up the district secretaries and asking them putting all kinds of queries to them. And they are not liking it at all, because this is not the culture of the DMK. The district secretaries were all like the sultans of each district. That's how the DMK was being functioning even during Karunanidhi's period. And look what it has come to be. A party which started its whole journey on an anti-Hindi campaign is now being, the whole campaign of the party is being run by somebody who's come from the Hindi heartland. So they've come a full circle. And I'll tell you, but on a serious note, let me show you a particular document. This document is their Google sheet. This is, of course, I've got from their high command. Now, see, what does this document say on a very serious note? This talks about what are the percentage of Telugu community in each constituency. So they fanned it out like a particular constituency has about 15 to 20% Chettiar, Telugu Chettiar, or Telugu Naidus, or Telugu Brahmins, Reddiyas. See, they have taken this to whip up the Telugu passion, to tell people in Tamil Nadu on linguistic basis to divide people, to create a polarization, to say that Telugu people are not being done enough by a Tamilian who's, Edapadi Palaniswamy, who happens to be a Tamilian. This is the kind of polarization that they do. And they've made a survey from throughout their constituencies where they've ended up with, they themselves claim that the credibility of that particular survey is about 37 to 50%. And they would like to improvise on that. They would like to reach out to people on this basis. You tell me, what kind of politics is this?
It's rotten, gutter-like politics. It is the thing that strikes me is Tamil Nadu has had a history of electing people who didn't necessarily have Tamil as their mother tongue. You take M.G. Ramachandran. Kamaraj Nadar, Bhakta Vatsalam, Rajaji, I think, is Kannada, by the way. Kamaraj Nadar, Bhakta Vatsalam were Tamil. After that, you had Annadurai was Tamil. Karunanidhi, I think, is Telugu. Yes. And M.G. Ramachandran is Malayalam. And then Jayalalitha is perhaps Tamil, who grew up in Karnataka. I'm not 100% sure about that. But so it would seem that Rajinikanth stands an excellent chance of, winning, because he definitely has a certain presence.
The advantage that Rajinikanth would have here is, after barring Kamaraj Nadar, who came up from the Nadar community, every other chief minister who followed him have all been from the caste neutral, whom you could say are caste neutral. Say, for instance, you had MGR, who came from he called himself, he claimed that he is Tamil, though people keep saying that he's from Malayalam. And he even challenged Karunanidhi, saying that I'm from the Mandradiyar caste, which is Tamil, which has Tamil roots. That's what he claimed. And he even referred to Mapo Sivanyanam to base his claim. And then you had Selva Jayalalitha, who came from the Brahmin community. And you have now M.K. Stalin, who hails from the community which is not from any of the major castes of Tamil Nadu. But that is not the advantage that Edapadi Palaniswamy has, because he comes from the Kongu counter community, and therefore one of the major communities in Tamil Nadu. Whereas Rajinikanth hails from one of the caste neutral, he would be seen as a caste neutral personality, and therefore he has an edge. Because when it comes between Stalin or Rajinikanth, I think Rajinikanth has a bigger reach with the people. He has a bigger, he can make a bigger impact, which we have seen.
Now, hypothetical question, Kishore. Is it going to be, in your opinion, a three-way race in Tamil Nadu, or is it going to be a two-way race? Meaning, ADMK will align with Rajini, I don't see DMK aligning with Rajni. I don't think it'll be good for Rajni also.
The DMK would never do that because see, for DMK, they are in an advantageous situation from the word go because see,
Right.
they have been a party which is more or less been united behind Stalin, and they have already tested the waters in the parliament election, and they have had a huge victory in the parliament election. But if you would ask me, the parliament election result will be will be repeated in the assembly election. Even DMK itself doesn't. I mean, DMK itself is not believing it. Therefore, they have engaged someone like Prashant Kishor to run their campaign.
Right.
For the first time in the history of Tamil Nadu, I don't know. Maybe I can even say the first time in the history of electoral politics in India, a political party's campaign was announced by a corporate agency.
True.
Which is the political campaign of DMK in the COVID crisis, was actually announced. The tweet announcing this, saying that this is an IPAC, movement, which is announced by the IPAC head. So this shows where the tide is moving, which is that perhaps is not confident that it does not even believe the people who even voted for it 8 months ago. It is not believing on its own leadership. It is not believing in its cadre. So that's the situation. Whereas the ADMK is concerned, ADMK is a split house, as we know. Even though TTV Dinakaran has not been able to cut much into the overall vote bank of the ADMK, yes, he has been a spoiler as far as the local body elections. We could see that, and we could even see that to some extent he was spoiling the chances of the ADMK in the parliament elections as well. So, having said that, the entry of Rajini would make a very big difference. And I think there is always a big chance of him pulling off an NT Ramarao with a late entry.
On his own. Are you saying on his own he'll be able to pull that?
Yes, that's what I believe.
I see. Well, see, this is the thing, sometimes, how many times I'm just putting myself in Rajini's shoes here. How many times would you have a chance to hit and make a mark in politics? He's probably pushing 70 now, 69, 70, something like that.
Yes.
And it's only going to be harder to move about. Every year brings on a little bit more, fatigue and so on and so forth. This is life. So he could go for the big bang and say, I'm not, riding on the shoulders of anyone. I'm banking on me. When you vote for me, you are voting for Rajini. Rajini's brand of theism, of Anmiga Arasiyal, which is what he's saying. And that alone, if it resonates with people, certainly with what happened in the Bharat Mata case and things like that, it could certainly be a catalyst. Because we have to remember, you're hitting the right point in the sense, you said that, what was the secret of NTR's success? The secret of NTR's success was the fact that Indira Gandhi changed the Andhra Pradesh chief minister 4 times in a 5-year period. And he just turned that into rage. He said, Aru Kotla Andhrula Atma Gauravam. It's all It's just like, very. So what he said was, this is self-respect of Telugus. And that resonated with people. And he had a landslide win. So it's possible that if Rajini messages it correctly, he might be able to pull off an upset, because the ADMK is still a house divided. Now, do you think there could be more of a coordination between these two groups? Because there were 3 groups, now become 2 groups. Do you think there could be better coordination between them now that they know that each can't survive without the other?
See, the thing is, you were right in saying that Rajini, given his age, and that is one of the reasons why even when he started his announcement, when he made this series of announcement, he said, it is now or never.
Yes. So he's on the same page.
It is not now, it is never. So, which means he was practical about it. And he's also been practical in saying that he may not be the CM candidate, which again is a major decision that after much deliberation that he seems to have made. Now, having said that, would that mean that the ADMK is not going to have any space at all? Well, I don't think so, because I wouldn't write off the Chief Minister Edappadi Palaniswamy, because I think that he is from what I saw of him in 2017 and what I see of him today, I think there is a huge difference. he's come a long way. In fact, the DMK, which is writing him off by calling him a puppet, have now they are sitting back and not taking him seriously. So, which means that yes, this is going to be a three-way contest, but a consolidation would mean a cakewalk for the the anti-DMK side. But at the same time, we will have to also see how much Rajini would want to accommodate the ADMK, or how much ADMK would be able to accommodate Rajini, because each have their own priorities in place. So their journey may not really align. That's how I look at it.
You make an excellent point. I think if Rajini is going to win, he's going to need to pull votes from both these camps. I mean, yes. I've had instances where I used to argue with very devout Hindus who will go to temple probably twice a week sometimes, and they would still go and vote DMK at the elections. And I would ask them, listen, these guys don't, they are saying there is no God. Kadavulai Nambuvan Muttal, the one who is trusting God, is a fool. And then yet, how come you are here and you're voting for DMK? And the simple answer they'll give is, adu vere, idu vere. That is different, this is different. I just couldn't understand how this is. So that there seemed to be somewhere that there was a spark that Karunanidhi was able to create. I mean, he was a great orator. I mean, we have to give that to him. I don't think anybody else had that gift of gab like him, where he could just I mean, it was like amazing speech, mastery over Tamil. He was like Tamilta used to dance on his tongue. He was very, very good at that. But Jayalalitha had some impression, I mean, some power, but I don't think she's in the same league. What are your thoughts? I mean, what will Stalin have to do to win this? Forget Prashant Kishor, because he's only going to show you all the weaknesses and things. At the end of the day, Stalin has to go and get the vote, right?
See, I will give you a difference. I don't know. I may not agree with you about the Tamil prowess of Karunanidhi. I don't even agree that he should be addressed as a Kalaignar or Muttamil Arinyar, because there's nobody.
No, these are all, these are all attitudes.
There is nothing. Nowhere in the history of Tamil literature that you have had someone coming out and saying that they are Muttamilim Arinyar. There's nothing like that. But yes, we will hand it out to him in saying that he was an astute politician. A classic example of that, which I keep saying in several places, I keep saying this, is that in 1977, when he had just lost the election and he had to sit in the opposition, there was no communication, like how it is today. The age of communication was not all that high like it is today. So in that age, he writes in Murasoli, which is the party, paper, journal. He writes and he invites people to come over for a rally in support of the Sri Lankan Tamil issue. And within 2 days, we had about 500,000 people gathering at the Sirani Arangam, which is in the on the marina. So that was the power that he had over his cadres. That was the power that he had over his people who went and voted for him. But that kind of power, I don't think Stalin is wielding. I don't think he would. He even has 10% of the kind of pull that Karunanidhi had, which I think he himself would agree. So it is, but what actually keeps pulling, what is in favor of Stalin? Well, I do think that he's a very hardworking person, but then hard work without smartness is, it's a battle in vain.
So we are in for an interesting tussle here. What are your opinion? What's your view on how West Bengal and Bihar are going to go this time?
No, I think Bihar, with Tejasvi hitting the opposition, I don't think Nitish is going to. Yeah, he's going to have a tough time with the anti-incumbency factor, happening, and the COVID crisis having a real influence on the thinking pattern of the voters. But as far as West Bengal is concerned, I think Mamta is digging more and more, deeper into the kind of should I call it the ditch that she is in. This is her creation. That she has created the kind of polarization which is actually working in favor of the BJP.
Well,
And
see, Kishore, the challenge for BJP in West Bengal is that 30% of the population is Muslim now. That means you can safely say another 2 to 3% more will be also voting the same way, because Bangladesh people can cross over, put the vote, and go back. Even it's that bad. It's that bad. Let's accept it where it is. So BJP, for them to win, they would need to get what used to be the former Congress, what used to be the former communists, also to vote for them en masse, and not vote for communists and Congress. I
no,
don't
but
know.
we did see. I think you would agree with me. And some of the psychologists did agree with me when we say that the communists felt that the only way we can bring down Mamata Banerjee is by voting for the BJP. The huge left vote bank went and voted. A chunk of it went and voted for the BJP in the parliament election. That's what I think. That's what is going to happen in the assembly as well, because the kind of work that has gone on the ground level, the kind of clashes that are happening between the Trinamool workers and the BJP workers, and the kind of murders that are happening, cold-blooded murders that are happening, and the arrogance with which Mamata Banerjee seems to be addressing her political opponents. I think she's actually she is helping the BJP, which is something that I would say in Tamil Nadu as well. The only reason why the BJP has not grown in Tamil Nadu is because the ADMK has been there right from NGR's time. It has always been a soft Hindutva, if I could say that. I don't believe there is anything soft or hard about Hindutva, but still, that is the reason why BJP has not grown in Tamil Nadu. Now, the DMK's kind of politics is to be because DMK seems to be following the footprints of Mamata Banerjee in trying to polarize, in trying to insult the Hindu sentiments, in trying to insult, like as you rightly put it, in trying to say that there is no God or whatever it is, and say that that is what rational thinking is about, and allowing their party people to insult Hindu beliefs, faiths, while sending their wives to every temple that is of significance. Now, this kind of hypocrisy was tolerated till Karunanidhi was around, because Karunanidhi was always seen as an astute and tall politician. But that is not the case with Stalin, and now questions are being put across, and there is an element of Hindu consolidation happening in Tamil Nadu as well. People are questioning this kind of double standards and this kind of hypocrisy that is being followed, and that is why DMK is finding itself on the back foot, and it's working hard to ensure that some kind of reproachment is made to the main, to the Hindu community.
And that was a fascinating conversation, Kishore. And let's hope that we'll have more such conversations in the future, as this is just beginning. This race is just begun, and we are going to see more and more interesting developments. And viewers, I hope you've got an inside view of what is transpiring in Tamil Nadu politics and how professional organizations have taken over the responsibility of winning elections for political parties. We can see a lot of dangers because of that. And we have to see how the center, catches this and nips it in the bud, because it is a very, very dangerous trend. And I think Kishore is right in expressing his concerns about it. And I think he has made an excellent case for why he thinks that this kind of an approach is harmful to the country. Thank you very much, Kishore.
Thank you, sir.
Namaskaram.